Hello, my name is Chris. I'm an engineer here at Frostcarbon, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit how I ended up working here for the past 5 years. I remember as a kid growing up that every school year usually brought about some nerves, mostly related to the uncertainty surrounding each new class and its work to come. But also kind of funny, the pressure from the annual magazine sale competition where each class competed to sell the most magazines to raise the most money for the school. And with that came the fear of rejection with door to door sales. And honestly, it was a bit frightening. Fortunately, this sales campaign led me to discover and subscribe to a magazine called Popular Science, which in hindsight seems to have played a little role in my path to working at Frost Carbon, where we're developing new climate technology. I still recall my fascination with the cover pages for this magazine. These concepts felt somewhat utopian. I remember these covers having concepts like flying cars whizzing by buildings mounted with solar panels and wind turbines, all which seemed so fascinating. My interest in learning more about science and technology soon stretched to cable TV programs. I remember one day the Mythbusters were testing out escape routes from Alcatraz and seeing if they were feasible. And the next, they were testing whether the 9 millimeter that James Bond used could actually explode a propane tank. All of this was super engaging and entertaining and really made me think more about how the world worked. This soon expanded to more technical but less flashy programs such as watching PBS Nova every Wednesday night with my dad or watching Neil deGrasse Tyson explain the origins of astrophysics on Cosmos. These feelings of excitement never faded as we were told to discern career paths as the school years went on. We often had to write different essays about different career paths. One year I chose medicine, and the next I chose engineering. All of this happened to coincide as climate change became more and more talked about as an existential threat to all of humanity. It felt obvious that something needed to be done, and that engineering new technology was and is the only way out. And after all, it did seem like a real way to make a difference in the world, something that most of us are all called to do. So in the end, engineering just made sense. But how to get my foot in the door in the industry still remained a mystery, even after starting a mechanical engineering program. First, the fundamentals of math and mechanics seemed very far removed from solving the problem. And next, at the time, I realized that I'd only really heard of solar and wind as solutions to climate change. While these are really great advances in energy, they already kind of seemed figured out. So, what could I do to contribute? And when are we going to get to the good stuff? Are some of the thoughts that I had. And I felt a little bit of regret. But maybe I was just being impatient in hindsight. We soon started to learn about the principles that underlie very grand sounding concepts like power plants and jet engines and airplane wings taking off. Many of these principles are categorized under the thermal fluid sciences. While those other mechanic courses are all integral to all of technology, it became very clear over the years that these thermal fluid systems were vital for the creation of new climate technologies, especially those that are needed to decarbonize more than just the grid, which is really only 1/3 of all global CO2 emissions. A realization that climate change was a much harder problem than I ever originally knew it to be. Thankfully, at Frost Carbon, that's exactly what we're tackling. We're creating one solution that can help decarbonize industries that comprise 2/3 of the world's CO2 emissions. This solution is called FrostCC. It's a new large-scale cryogenic carbon capture technology, which leverages thermodynamics to provide clean and firm power for data centers and the grid. But it also cleans up exhaust streams from hard-to-abate industries such as material production and more. If you're interested in what you learned today and interested in talking to us more, please like and subscribe or comment below.